What's up, Patriots? April 12th, 2025. Try to keep up, Patriots. This is Trump.
Just getting back to your, because I'm the great weaver of all time. To weave, you have to be a genius. To go on tangents, anybody can do that. But we'll get back to your original U.S. deal.
You fucker! You laughed, you mocked, you shut us down. Called us names, tried to run us out. You pushed too hard, took too much. Now you're the ones who've lost their touch. You rigged the game, you changed the rules. Gaslit the world, played us for fools. But tides have turned, the storm is near. Cry all you want, we're still here. Faithful, fuck around and find out. You tried to rule, but your time ran out. Faithful, the silent won't stay quiet now. We're taking back what you burned to the ground. Censorship, lockdowns, all your control. Built your throne on a house of gold. Now you panic, now you cry. Tears don't work, truth don't lie. The games are done, the mask fell off. No more lies, we've had enough. You played with fire, now taste the flame. This time, we're naming names. Faithful, fuck around and find out. You tried to rule, but your time ran out. Faithful, the silent won't stay quiet now. We're taking back what you burned to the ground. You called us threats, you called us extreme, but we remember everything. From 24 and beyond, take your bets, 'cause guess what? We ain't done yet. Faithful, fuck around and find out. Your kingdom's crumbled, your luck ran out. Faithful, no more games, no more doubts. You lit the fire, now it's burning you down.
Yeehaw! There's a rowdy start. Oh, and then there's a little bit of ending here. Little peaceful nature moment. The smartest bird I've ever seen. Hey, Critical. How you doing, Stua? Trina, Bullets, Beverly. Hello.
Ele tá querendo pescar. Ele pegou o pão dela. Não, mas ele não vai comer o pão, amigo. Ele quer pescar. Ele quer pegar o peixinho.
Yeah, check out this bird, man. The turtle almost got it.
É porque a pai dela já
Snatched it away.
E agora ele rodou no pão. Nossa, catado, os peixinhos. Sim, tem os peixes.
Uhum. Olha, pegou.
Não, pegou um peixe, gente. Pescou.
Ta-da!
Meus filhos.
Meu Deus.
Amazing, and they tell us animals are stupid. All right, now I gotta figure out how to get rid of this. What's up, Patriots? Good to see you. Another crazy week in Trump World USA. I got dozens of notes here because there's so much going on. I'm watching is Trump. So how's everybody doing, man? I was just watching B. She was down at another freak rally somewhere. There was something I thought going on downtown Lancaster, but no, in the middle of shopping day, the gas companies got the roads shut down, so I had to walk in here to downtown Lancaster. Right here we are. Once again, the site of the famous drag queen story hour at the library scene over there. All the pretty rainbow colors they put up for us. And we got to, while I'm talking, there's a scene unfolding behind me at the bus stop in downtown Lancaster. So I just want to, we'll start up here. I'm going to try to get it in the shot. But while we're talking, we can watch that go on. There's a couple of really wasted people at the bus stop while all the shoppers are walking by in our pretty little downtown area here. What's up, Diane Kelly? Hello. It's good to see the family all hanging out. Patriot Roy. Yeah, I was just going to try to go over what all happened in the last, I had a page of notes last weekend, but I was showing the freak show, the Retard Finder episode, downtown Lancaster. Oh, here we got fanfare. Okay, we're gonna clean up the mess in Lancaster here. Oh, okay, they're gonna load this guy in. Yeah, it looked like Kensington, Philly here when I walked up. I'm like, what's going on over there? So we'll just keep an eye on that, Patriots. It's not the star attraction of today. The star attraction of today is Trump. And that video, sorry about the language. This is not for children. This is the adults are in the room. Sometimes language escapes us that we don't have the words to actually describe the insanity that's going on. But right there it is. Right in my hometown. All right, where do we start? Let's just start with today. J6 is still in the topic of conversation. There's a lot going on in J6 world. I just watched an episode of the Gateway Pundit where they interviewed Peter Schwartz, and it was very good, man. I had a total wrong take on Peter Schwartz. I don't know why, but Peter Schwartz, man, I mean, he went there with his wife. We all thought it's a great description, man. It's a 30-minute episode, and it's a great description of how you felt when you got to that rally on January 6th and what happened and how it escalated, and all of a sudden you find yourself in this situation. And what are they doing now? Oh, they're loading them up onto a gurney. I could be like an auditor. I could go jump in there with the camera, and then the cop could tell me to step back. But I don't think I'm going to do that. Yeah, this is a drug overdose going on right over here. He's not overdosing. He's just high as ever can be, and couldn't even like stand up. And his like 3 other buddies, I don't know if they all split or what. There was 4 of them there when I got here. But all the downtown shoppers here in our nice little town get to watch this too, man. No, Trina, you trying to get me in trouble, Trina. Stop that. It's like a no-show. It's a drugged out guy in the remnants of President Otto Penn's dynasty here, man. This is what this Democratic Party has done to people, man. It's driven them to extremes that a lot of people don't know how to deal with, man. That's why we love Trump. He's digging us out of this hole, man, that the President Autopen put us through. Been watching a lot of RSBN, Right Side Broadcasting Network. They're doing the Trump everything Trump. They got it on film. So the breaking news is Retard Finder found one again. That's the breaking news, Trina. So yeah, man, that Peter Schwartz interview was great. And then also I got a notification from MAGA Mouse News, which was Jeremy Brown's organization that was rallying to get him out. Remember, we all got postcards and we sent them to our representatives pertaining to the J6 stuff. Well, right now they're on a rally to have the 14 J6ers who have not been pardoned to get them an official pardon, man. They've had their sentences commuted, but they haven't been cleared of, I think, seditious conspiracy or something like that. So, Diane Kelly, that was on Gateway Pundit, the Peter Schwartz episode. It's worthy. It's really good. It's only about 30 minutes long. And it's really a good insight into the J6ers experience, man. It really was a good episode. So yeah, the 14 J6ers, Stuart Rhodes, Joe Biggs, Ethan Nordine, Pizzola, a lot of these guys have not been pardoned yet. They're out of prison and they've had their sentences commuted or whatever. I don't know. They make it so confusing. But apparently they don't have a full-on pardon. So, and it's causing them problems, man, because now they're like a convicted felon, and technically, it's so confusing. Who could keep up with it? And it's more judicial bullshit is what it is. The weather here right now is cold. I don't know why it's so cold, man. I can still see my breath here. But, yeah, that's the weather here, Sean. So 14 J6ers, go to MAGA Mouse News at magamousenews.com, and you can have them send you 4 pre-stamped, pre-addressed, or as many as you want, pre-stamped, pre-addressed postcards to send to President Trump in order to get these last 14 J6ers fully pardoned, as they should be. And we got investigations happening on the J6 committee still. That's all ongoing. Trump is still mentioning it every week or two. It's still a topic of conversation. Okay, in other news, just this week, we have the Space Force commander in Greenland. We had a Space Force base in Greenland. Her name is Susanna Myers. She's been fired because she refused to put up the commander-in-chief's picture at a military base, among other things. Get her out of there. Get her out of there, man. Just, you know, anybody that's been in the military knows you listen to command. And when you're not, you're cutting your own wave. You're a DEI hire and you're the head of a military base and you say you want to pick a little fight, you're going to get canned, man. So Susanna Myers fired, as she should have been. And Space Force in Greenland is under a new commander. So that's a good thing. We're watching the death of DEI. DEI, man, ever since I got out of high school and I was told that they had to hire black ladies instead of me for a job in order to fill quotas, that's when it all started, man. This was 45 years ago, this DEI bullshit. They didn't come up with the term DEI yet, but that's what's been going on for the last 45 years. And we're watching the death of it right now. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. And then while we're all talking about plane crashes and the irrelevant news that's all out there right now, there's real stuff going on behind the scenes. such as the J6 committee investigation, and we're still trying to get the Epstein list, apparently. Remember, the ring binder was supposed to have the Epstein list in it 2 months ago. Judicial Watch is now officially suing the DOJ for the Epstein client list. We still don't even have that. We're supposedly getting the JFK files, the MLK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. assassination files. That's all coming out, but they got to give it to like our representatives first, and then they got to review it for some reason. And we gotta get that information. Will our Congress give it to us? I don't know. Hey, that's a good idea, Deb Vi. Thank you, and Trina. Good catch. Sometimes I forget stuff. Okay, and then also the Federal Trade Commission is putting Mark Zuckerberg on trial next week, man. Apparently Mark Zuckerberg was working in cahoots with the CCP to invent surveillance methods and equipment to surveil people. And then apparently, I think they're going to prove that he was then using that stuff here during COVID to silence the opposition, to silence people who weren't putting out the right message. They were telling people that to not get a vaccine and all that stuff. So there's that going on too. The censorship that's all happened. All right, so that's about all I got for like this week. The death of DEI, that protest last week, and the ongoing protests with these the Tesla burners. Who knows what they're protesting? That was the moral of the story last week. What was that protest about? I can't even tell you. I can't even remember all the different signs that everybody had up. The one point they all had in common was they hate Trump. And that was, I guess, their message. They wanted to, body shame, fat shame people. There was no real discussion going on. I've since watched a lot of videos this week about the protests that were going on last week, and they're ongoing. I thought there was one here today. There was one down in Georgetown at Glory B. Live stream momentarily. They're all enraged. There's people with these like penguin signs. I'm like, ooh, I didn't get the penguin joke yet. And I've since found out what the penguin joke was, because Trump put tariffs on an uninhabited island where penguins live so that the Chinese couldn't go open a base there and start exporting goods to us there. And then since then, Trump has escalated the trade war. All the countries in the planet are coming to the table to talk, except for China. So this is a great move for American manufacturing. It's a horrible move for Wall Street and all the people that invested in shipping all our jobs over to China. They're going to be hating on that, but oh well, man. Will Johnson was at a protest this morning in Texas. Okay, cool, Bullets. Give us check out Bullets, man. Maybe you'll put a video up on that. Hi, Priscilla. Good to see you. So basically, they're screaming at this guy, and what we got is a mental health crisis with signs, with signs. They're actually kind of giving us a window into their minds of what their minds are thinking, and they want to make fun of Trump with a penguin sign, or they want to, free Palestine, or they want to give more money to Ukraine and protect democracy over there where the guy stopped elections in Ukraine, I mean, the retardation is heavy. It's very heavy, man. So, mental health crisis, full display. Therapy sessions. These are like therapy sessions for these people. There is a problem. There is a mind virus, as Elon Musk used to say, and it is infected quite a few people. That's for sure. We're gonna get out of this though by not being driven by hate. by being driven by love of our country, of our God, of our families, of our genders, of our women and our children. That's how we're going to get out of this. That's how we operate. They operate on a motivation of hate. Okay, we're emotional beings. You know, you either love it or you hate it. And when we see something we hate, we go out and protest against it and say, hey, that's not right. That's hateful. We love these people that stood up for us on January 6th. We love our women in sports. We love our country. We want all the good things for this country. But these other people are driven by hate. They go out and they hate things, and they hold signs up about how they hate things, man. It's very blatant once you can see it, you know. Pray for discernment, man. Trump and Elon will go on continuing to live in their heads rent-free, and we're just gonna, and they got long-term leases. Apparently, man. Okay, we got more of this judicial lawfare that's going on. It's a huge, huge problem, man. This country's got so many huge problems that, you know, Trump's addressing many, many of them, and there's still a bunch that we're not even talking about yet. One of the problems that Trump is addressing, and we want Congress to address, is these activist judges that are trying to reverse Trump's executive orders, his recommendations, and one of these was that Trump kicked the Associated Press, they kicked AP out of the White House press room because they wouldn't call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, right? So Trump kicked them out. They're out of here, right? They sued Trump, and now we have a judge, Judge Trevor McFadden. Ding, ding, ding. Does that ring a bell? Yes, because that's one of the J6 judges. He wants the AP back in the White House press room, so he's trying to reverse another order. We've also had Judge Boasberg trying to bring the terrorists back into our country after we found them, apprehended them, sent them on a plane down to El Salvador's prison, and Judge Boasberg wanted to reverse that. Well, that got shot down, I believe, in the Supreme Court. It's hard to keep up. But another link, another judge, activist judge, family member, is making tons of money on this somehow, right? How does this always happen? Judge Boasberg's brother, Tom Boasberg, received $20 million donation from Facebook co-founder 5 months ago. Okay, that information came out. Nobody heard about that, right? Fact, Judge Boasberg's brother just got a $20 million donation from the co-founder of Facebook 5 months ago. What's up with that? How come Facebook co-founder is paying this guy's brother $20 million? I don't know. Sounds real shady to me. Okay, let's just try to hit on all these, man. In the last 2 weeks, Klaus Schwab has stepped down from the World Economic Forum, man. Klaus Schwab, man, the one guy that's been leading the world. He's the founder of the World Economic Forum. On Liberation Day, told everybody that he's getting ready to step down, and they're going to put a new person in charge. We also had Fauci's wife, okay, also worked at the National Institute of Health. Her name isn't Mrs. Fauci. Her name is Christine Grady. She was the head. What was she? She was the head. She worked at the National Institute of Health, which is the institute that Fauci was in charge of. And she was known as the bioethics czar. So she was the person who decided all the ethical things that the National Institute of Health was doing. She was the president of it, man. The bioethics czar. She was fired, by the way. So all these like incestuous relationships within Washington are falling apart all over the place. Okay, we've also had some White House insiders that have been swept out of the White House, man. Remember the Signal Gate? Signal Gate was like, what, 2 weeks ago? But who can even remember that going on? Well, it turns out that one of the guys who had the list of people to put on the Signal Gate chat for the morning that they were invading Yemen or whatever, and they were chatting about it in live time, that was released by an author who works at The Atlantic magazine. Once again, the wrap-up smear right here, man. So he writes about it, says he was in on the chat. Turns out that possibly one of the people on the inside of the White House that might have gotten him on that chat room, it turns out that his wife was one of the J6 prosecutors. So what in the world, you know, and Trump called these people magnificent people for America, you know, yet his wife was a J6 prosecutor, not a judge or anything like that. She was on the leadership team within the courthouse there prosecuting J6ers, man. So hopefully that was one of the purges that has happened in the White House. These things are going on the low. Trump's not broadcasting any of that stuff, but we got to know that that stuff's going on, man. A lot of people out there dissing on Pam Bondi. Relax, man. Just relax. Pam Bondi came in there, fired 5,000 of her prosecutors, and she's got to replace all that stuff, man. They're literally rebuilding the DOJ from the inside out, you know. Same thing with the FBI. You know, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have been awful quiet, but they're rebuilding. They had to go in there and secure a spot to work out of and start investigating the rest of the FBI. And they will be releasing stuff. Patience is a virtue. I know that we've been waiting for a long time for stuff to happen, but just wait, man. Things are happening. You cannot deny the fact that things are happening, but there is a lot of other things that need to begin to happen. And arrests and perp walks and trials is one of them. So I'm thinking 2026 is going to be courtroom TV drama 24/7. Just hang tight, Patriots. Hang tight. Another year. Let the people that we elected in there do their jobs, man. Give them some slack, man. Julian Assange had a good quote about that the NIH was basically a dictatorship in a lab coat, man. They came out and they told us everything that we, the people, had to do in order to comply with the virus. It was however it got here. You know, that's irrelevant, however it got here. But the point of the matter is, people lost their jobs. People were advised to do horrendous medical experiments on themselves. People were denied the information of valid treatments for this plant, focusing on health, and your immune system was totally censored. It's crazy, man. All right, so Julian Assange is reporting on all this. Now, I haven't found out late yet about this, but I did write down Julian Assange has a website, https://t.me/Julian Assange wiki. If one of you guys care to look that up. Apparently he is reporting on this stuff, and I just haven't had time to go there. I'm too busy watching Trump stuff, man. All right, God didn't create the world in one day, therefore Trump can't fix everything in one day. God bless America for finally standing up. And thank you, Jericho, for every piece of info you put. All right, right on, Shirlene. Shirlene, we got prayers for English Rose and Candyman. Candyman's in the hospital. Hopefully he got out. but he had a health scare while he's down visiting you guys, Charlene. Thanks, Charlene, for you and Slim standing up, too. And hosting them, too. Our patriots from across the Atlantic are here. What else? Oh, in the last 2 weeks, Elon found 14 magic money computers. All right, that's something that's coming out. There's also another Elon discovery that we're all waiting to hear. That's all hush hush, but they've been asking questions about it in the White House press room. We don't know exactly what it is, but apparently it's going to be huge, man. And the reason that they're not just coming right out and saying it is there's going to be major turmoil on this information that Elon found again about people directly, receipts and everything. Can't stop the evidence that's coming out on all this stuff. I mean, it's amazing. So, and there are going to be big hits once it does come out. I kind of see a pattern, okay? Trump is exposing a lot of crooked government stuff. And so far, it's all kind of funny stuff like, they're giving condoms out in, Guatemala or something for $63 billion. Well, that's all something. But when it starts hitting home where you got receipts that, like Mitch McConnell's renting out a building that he owns to the government that's sitting there empty or whatever. I mean, this is going to be wild. The thing that Elon was looking and tweeting about right when he made this discovery was that, I don't know, there was like 7,000, there's a whole bunch of government buildings that were sitting around empty that the government was paying to rent for nothing. Nobody was in them. So I think that's what some of this might be related to. But we'll have to wait and see, man. That's an imminent release from Trump himself. And hopefully this week will be when we see that happen. Under the NSA, National Security, I think that's who's in charge of the NSA, Tulsi or one of them is in charge of that. They fired the director of the NSA, Tim Howe. And the second in command there, Wendy Noble, have been fired. Nobody's reporting on that stuff. Oh. The New York City mayor, Eric Adams, in the last 2 weeks, abandoned the Democrat Party, says that he is going to run for the mayor of New York City again after charges were dropped. The DOJ was going after him. Eric Adams says, I'm not a Democrat anymore. I'm going to run as an independent. And he endorsed Kash Patel's book, Government Gangsters. How crazy is that? I didn't see any huge New York Times articles about it, or it wasn't on Fox, blaring from the top of the mountaintop, but that happened in the last 2 weeks. Eric Adams is not a Democrat anymore. And he's endorsing Kash Patel's book. Last 2 weeks, we got Mississippi abolished income tax. Hey, how about that, man? So Trump's made a lot of information known about tariffs and taxes and stuff. And one of the things that he was talking about was under when we operated, before we had income taxes in this country, we operated on a system of tariffs. The tariffs started before the Constitution was even ratified in this country, all right? We were collecting tariffs at that time. We funded the government. Right before Teddy Roosevelt became the president, we had so much money that we had collected from tariffs that the government had to put together a committee to decide how to spend all that money. And that was the era that Teddy Roosevelt instituted the national park system. So out of the tariffs, we created the United States National Park System. I mean, we've got some beauty parks. They're amazing. If you haven't toured them, definitely try to one of these days, man. So we believe that there is a chance that we can get rid of income taxes, since they were originally instituted to us as a temporary measure to get costs back from the Civil War, apparently. So, yeah, we believe in this system, that this is possible, but I talk to people and they just can't even fathom the fact that they can somehow not be responsible to pay taxes on your income. You know, we can operate on a tariff system. So we see a lot of that. And then we got a lot of people like crying, pissing and moaning about my IRS or my what's the retirement accounts. You know, they all lost money in the stock market. But really, is your money worth less than it was a year ago at this time? No, you're still ahead from a year ago. So there's that, man. People, alarmists, hair on fire, panicking. Trump came out with the term panicking. They're panicking. They're not Democrats, they're not Republicans, they're panicking. They're just panicking about their accounts are losing money that they have invested in the stock market. That happens all the time. I mean, that's one reason a lot of people don't go into the stock market, because you can't take the pressure, man. You got to sit out the troughs and wait for the peaks to hit and, you know, sell. And now they're all trying to tell Trump. Trump told the whole world now would be a good time to buy, all right? When everything tanked, Trump said, told the whole country, now is a good time to buy. And the panicans, or the Democrats, are trying to tell Trump is guilty of insider trading because he said that. Just think of the retardation involved with that statement, you know. It might take a moment of silence here to really think that one through. Trump gave the whole world stock advice, and they're trying to say that he is insider trading. I mean, that is the exact opposite of insider trading. It's like outside trading, you know. Hey, everybody, go buy stock. I don't know. It's just, I can't wrap my head around it. It's too much stupidity. I don't have enough brain cells to surround that and follow that thought through to a logical source. In the last 2 weeks, all the Democrats, every single one, have voted so that nobody has to show an ID while voting. While we vote in our elections, they voted in their election to say that nobody should have to show an ID. If that's not the most racist type of comment to make about non-white people, I don't know what is. You're telling them, you're espousing your opinion that non-white people are too stupid to go get an ID. That's what you're insinuating by that vote, that perception, that mindset. And that is the most racist thought of all. That's the retardation I just can't wrap my mind around, man. So yeah, all the Democrats voted to not have to sue, and they're suing Trump because Trump wrote an executive order about that too. So they're trying to sue them. It's lawfare, more lawfare. Cory Booker gave a 25-hour speech from Congress. Like, I don't know how that's even possible, or was anyone else even in the room? Did they film the whole thing? I don't know. All I know is I heard he gave a 25-hour speech. I didn't watch one word of it, but there was people standing out here last weekend with signs that said, yeah, what Cory Booker said. Okay. I missed the 25-hour speech. I didn't hear it. And then you can't tell me what Cory Booker said. All you said is, yeah, what Cory says on your sign. That's a level I can't comprehend. I don't know what you do with people that are that dense, man. And in the meantime, the Congress, I still have no faith whatsoever in Congress. They have what was that, 2 weeks ago. They worked Monday and then all went home for the rest of the week. So, they're still pulling shit like that. Okay, now going all the way back to the end of March. We got Representative Brandon Gill has introduced articles of impeachment against Judge Boasberg. I called my representative at least 6 times since then and said, impeach these activist judges. Brandon Gill introduced articles of impeachment, get on board, I made quite a few calls to my representative this week. In the last 3 weeks, the CIA found the Ark of the Covenant. I don't know, I heard that story. It just came and went in a day. It was a distraction story, I'm sure. I'm sure that the CIA hasn't found the Ark of the Covenant. And I don't know why that's a story. I think like these people that make up stories and distraction things, they go to school somewhere, right? And in order to graduate, they have to come up with a hoax. And whoever gets the most reaction to their hoax, and there's ways of measuring that by how many other people reported on it, they get a better grade than the people whose hoax didn't get paid attention to at all. So somewhere there's a hoax school, and that this Ark of the Covenant story was like the thesis of somebody graduating that school. That's my whole theory on that, man. Musk was, right before Wisconsin had an election recently, Musk went to Wisconsin and campaigned, and he brought up the point that these judges, these activist judges, and that we need to all take a look at the Congress people who got strangely wealthy while in office. And we all know how many of dozens and dozens of them are worth tens of millions of dollars and more. And all they've been making was $200,000 a year in salaries. So how did they get that rich, Insider trading, that's how, man. Yeah, right on, Lee. Skull and Bones, they're in the club and you're not in it, right? No, Shirlene, I did not hear about Boasberg getting arrested. And there is a lot of fake info out there. There's YouTube accounts that'll say anything, and they're not true. When you look into them, they're not true. They're just putting an inflammatory title on their videos, and it gets people to click on them. Then you watch the 20-minute video and you find out, oh, Judge Boasberg didn't get arrested, but somebody might have talked about him getting arrested. Whoa, okay. That was Judge Mercan, is the New York judge with his daughter involved. Okay, Shirlene, no, I haven't heard a thing about that yet. We shall see, and I expect arrests are going to be forthcoming here shortly, man. In the last 3 weeks, France put the conservative opposition candidate for the leader of France, Prime Minister of France, in prison. It's a woman named Le Pen, and they sentenced her to, I think, 4 years in prison, man, for whatever. They made up charges and busted her, put her in prison, man. And that's exactly what the Democrats wanted to do to Trump, man, but they weren't able to do it. Hey, General. Thanks, man. Going on 5 o'clock. Fire pit and food, all right. MAGA Warriors. Let the good times roll. The art of the deal. Yeah, brother. The art of the tariff. Awesome, man. I'll try to join you there at the fire pit. France puts Le Pen in prison. Unbelievable. That's exactly the play that they were trying to do here, man. Cookie cutter. If you want to know what's going to happen here in America in 5 or 10 years, look at what's happening in Europe, man, because that's what's going on. Pete Hegseth, the head of the Department of Defense, in the last 3 weeks, decided that the physical fitness standards for soldiers will not accommodate anybody. They're going to have one standard, and if you pass it, you get in, and if you don't, you don't. And that was a way that women got into a lot of positions in our military because they lowered the standards for physical fitness and allowed them to become soldiers, basically. So Pete Hegseth put an end to that. Which I think is great news. I think is awesome news, man. If you're going to be a combat frontline soldier, you got to know that your person you're fighting next to here is going to be able to carry you out if you get shot, right? But they lowered the standards for women, and it just becomes a thing, man. In war is war. It's horrible. We shouldn't lower the standards for soldiers that are fighting our wars. The leader of Argentina, Javier Milei, declassified documents that the secret agencies in Argentina had that says that Hitler survived World War II, that the U.S. spooks helped him go to Argentina and live out 20 more years of life there somehow. So just like we're releasing the JFK files, Milei released the Hitler files of Argentina. And we've heard these stories I've heard them all my life, that prominent Nazis and even possibly Hitler himself went to Argentina after the end of World War II. And apparently it says that the U.S. helped Hitler escape Germany, and while he was in Argentina, he fathered 2 children. So I don't know, is this a hoax school story or is it true? I couldn't tell you, man. Another one of the agencies that Elon Musk is about to focus on is called the United States Institute of Peace. And apparently they found payments to the Taliban and Iraq in there. So he announced that 2 weeks ago, and then I didn't hear anything about it. And then I heard now that Trump and Levitt in the White House press room is saying that this big announcement coming out shortly might have ties to that, and that might be what this is. The United States Institute of Peace payments going out to Taliban. And then Elon's been all over Fox News and all over news sources always, all over the place, telling that there are 400,000 stolen Social Security numbers that are receiving benefits that might not even be real people. Some of these people have birthdays. They haven't even been born yet. The birthday is 15 years in the future, he says. So a lot of crazy stuff. And these people are out here protesting to not find that stuff, to ignore that stuff. They want Elon to stop looking for things, man. All right. Wisconsin, in their election, did pass a voter ID requirement. So regardless of what the judges say in D.C., Wisconsin is going to require voter ID in their state. And every state can do this. This is how it should actually operate. Every state make the rules. The federal government should not be dictating election rules, I don't believe. But there has to be an answer to our corrupt elections. And Tulsi Gabbard, I believe, has new announcements on the voter fraud, the voter corruption in the machines that were the electronic voting machines. Excuse me. All right, and tariffs. Did we even talk? Oh yeah, we did talk tariffs. Okay. Trump's negotiating new tariff deals with every country on the planet right now. I think that's going to turn into a good thing. That's probably going to take a little bit of time. All right, Georgia has voter ID. Okay, that's good. We do not have it here in Pennsylvania. I know we've asked for it many, many times, man. So my question is, why is Congress not stopping these judges? The J6 trials went on for 4 years. We were calling our Congress people that whole time and asking them to take a look at these judges. These judges talked about a leadership team within the court, and nothing was ever done about it, and it continues. This corruption apparently behind the bench, especially in D.C., especially at the federal levels, seems to be corrupted. And I don't know why they're not stopping. I have no confidence that Congress is going to do anything about this. And what I hope is happening, as Julian Assange says, 98% of D.C. is going to fall once the corruption is revealed. So the corruption is being revealed. There's this big announcement coming it's definitely related to some high level people who currently sit in positions, and that is probably why the delay on this announcement for that. So hopefully Trump is setting the stage for this event. This 98% of DC is going to fall, and that's what's got to happen, because Trump has been running this country without the help of Congress up until this point. And I would like to see Congress helping them, but they're not. Because it's the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, which is the uniparty. And what the Republicans haven't figured out yet is we're MAGA. We're not Republicans. We are Make America Great Again. I hope he's not waiting until midterms, Nova. I hope this is coming out like next week, because this is what's got to happen before midterms, so that midterms are a tricky election, man. A lot of times, like a high percentage of times, it turns against the sitting administration. Always, always, always. So I'm not saying Trump can't make it happen, but we got to see some perp walks, man. We've been waiting a long time for this. A lot of people's lives have been ruined, ended. We got to see something. We got to see something soon. And we are seeing things. I mean, they are arresting the illegal aliens right now. Doge is finding the corruption right now. But it's a journey that's got to happen before we get to the big hits that are obviously right on the horizon, man. And I'm a little worried about living in a world where district judges can single-handedly reverse orders by the president. I don't think that's a proper type of judicial jurisprudence or anything like that. So I don't know. Just be prepared, patriots, man. Our spooks have been all over this world. They have toppled governments all over this world, right, over the last 50, 60 years. And right now, all the governments in the world are coming for negotiations to Donald Trump, not the people who are running the spooks. All right, so it's a volatile time. It's a very volatile time, man. So we got the streets of Lancaster cleaned up. That was nice. Got the drug addicts off the street. People can go shopping, go about their business without having to look at that. And there's a lot going on, Patriots. So that's about like all I got, man. And there's no retard protest going on here today. So I guess we'll call that a day. Call that a take. And send you on to the next live streamer, man. Be definitely sure to like and just to share and subscribe to all these channels that we're watching. Keep people moving on the ground. You want to see that video again? All right, we can close out with that video. But definitely support your live streamers. There's multiple ways of doing that. One of them is just frequenting their videos, sharing them out to people who might be interested in that. You see a good video, share it out to a friend who might be turned on to that. Definitely subscribe. That helps the numbers and stuff. And contribute monetarily, if you can, to your live streamers. Many of them depend on that. Many of them can't operate without that. And we're in the era where we all cut the cable at our house. Well, cable TV costs people $100 a month. So if you see videos that you like, you know, try to support your live streamers. We got Big D out there and Glory P, two hard hitters that are putting a lot of effort into showing us what's going on in DC still. And we need to know what's going on there. We need to know what's going on out in California with the California Patriots. We need to know what's going on in Chicago with Sean out there, man, giving us the lowdown on Chicago. So, I gotta find my earplugs here. So things are looking good, I think, in general. But just be ready. Be ready for anything. That's what we're good at. We're ready for anything. And but we got to stay focused on what's going on with our president. Definitely keep his back. Oh, I do got like tons of memes. I'll save the memes for, well, wait, let's look at a couple of these. Got some sketchy decisions from these people. What a group. That's half of our Supreme Court patriots. So you know things are precarious, right? Let's not forget about this. Because really, this is what it's all about, patriots. It's a battle between good and evil. Stay centered, stay focused. Pray for discernment, pray for each other, pray for our family. There we go. All right, Patriots, have a wonderful day. God bless you all. And definitely keep us all in your prayers. This is Jericho.
It's getting back to your, because I'm
Over
the
and
great
out.
weaver of all time. To weave, you have to be a genius. To go on tangents, anybody can do that. But we'll get back to your original U.S. Steel.
You fucker! You laughed, you mocked, you shut us down. Call us names, tried to run us out. You pushed too hard, took too much. censorship, lockdowns, all your control. Built your throne on a house of gold. Now you panic, now you cry. Tears don't work, truth don't lie. The games are done, the mask fell off. No more lies, we've had enough. You played with fire, now taste the flame. This time, we're naming names. Faithful, fuck around and find out. You tried to rule, but your time ran out. Faithful, the silent won't stay quiet now. We're taking back what you burned to the ground. You called us threats, you called us extreme, but we remember everything. From 24 and beyond, take your bets, 'cause guess what? We ain't done yet. Faithful, fuck around and find out. Your kingdom's crumbled, your luck ran out. Faithful, no more games, no more doubts. You lit the fire, now it's burning you down.
Kami din po pescando. Ele tá querendo pescar. Não, mas ele não vai comer pão, ele quer pescar. Ele quer pegar um peixinho.
Vai jogar pão. Joga o pão lá. E não vai jogar com você.
É porque a pai dela vai dar. Olha que ela tá querendo de novo por ali.
Ih, agora ele roubou no pão. Nossa, safado. Sim, tem os peixes.
Aham. Olha, pegou.
Não, pegou um peixe, gente. Pescou ao vivo. Esse cara é melhor que meus filhos.
Meu Deus.
Is that the one, Lee? I don't know how to get that to you. Maybe you could take a screenshot. Anyways. All right, there you go, Lee. Take care, bud. Stay frosty, Patriots. Over and out.